Hey guys, it's Zekin, or Zekin, either way you like to pronounce it is fine. So today we're going to be working on the main kids area in Beryl Zoo, which is going to have a petting zoo, play center, and more. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So the time lapse today is going to be pretty short, and that's because NVIDIA really messed up on me, so I couldn't really get that much building footage. But hopefully in future episodes I'll try to sort that out. Maybe I'll switch over to maybe OBS or something, but we'll see how it goes. So this area is mainly inspired by the kids area they have in Moscow Zoo. So off camera I started working on some of the barn houses for the petting zoo area. I don't really have any much more footage of building the petting zoo area, so I'll just show you guys how it eventually turned out in the live portion of the video, which I'll leave a timestamp to in the description below, so you can go skip ahead. So I then started working on the deer habitat. I was actually able to get a decent amount of building footage for this. So since we don't have any normal deer in the game, this is basically gonna be like a reindeer habitat. As you can see, I used a bunch of fabric pieces which came with the architect pack to make this little pond for the reindeer. It kind of gives it this really nice artificial look. This idea actually came from one of Eben's most recent Tamachi Zoo episodes, which I'll leave a link to in the description below, so you can go check it out. So it really gives it this kind of really nice tarp look to it, which makes it look really realistic. So yeah, then I added a bunch of steps and it was done, and then I started working on the foliage in the habitat. I wanted it to feel really dense so that the reindeer can actually hide in different places, because deers are actually really shy animals, so having really dense foliage will really help a lot. And also, this is kind of like the foresty area of the children's zoo area. Right next to the deer habitat we have a walk-through aviary, which obviously is only just implied because we don't have any birds in the game yet, hopefully. So it's based on the one they have in the children's area at the Moscow Zoo. So from the walkthrough you can actually get little views of the deer habitat from there, so I just thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, then I used a bunch of these logs to protect the trees from the deers. So I actually got a whole lot more stuff done off camera, so we're gonna just be heading into the live portion so I can show you guys everything I did. Welcome to the live portion of the video. I'm gonna be doing a look around at everything I did, so let's get on with it. So I want to start off with the walkthrough aviary. So on the path leading up to the aviary, you can see we have these path lights, which I got the idea from Creative Games. They used it in their zoo, in which they just flipped over one of the arch shapes and then they put one of the architect packs lights in the bamboo, and it looks pretty nice. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'll leave a link to the channel in the description below so you can go check it out. So we can see we have some of Mealy's custom trees over here, which lines up here, and this whole area is pretty forest, like foliage dense, so be expecting that. So let's get inside. So as we enter the aviary, well, we don't have any birds yet in the game, so let's just imagine they're just tweeting around. So I'd imagine the birds would be like perched on these ropes, just chilling there. And then we have these bird houses, which are from Haribo. They're really awesome. He's a really awesome creator, so thought they look pretty cool. So yeah, we have some trees, and then we have some hay actually scattered around. If you're wondering what this is actually like one of the thatched roof pieces, and then I sunk them into the ground really deep, so it looks like hay. So we have more of the bird houses, and then as you're walking through the aviary, you can get like some views of the reindeer habitat, which we'll be getting to in a second. So as you're walking through, you can get really good views of the reindeer habitat. Oh, look at it, just running up there. So I'm sure as the adults are walking with their kids, the kids are the ones that are going to be getting more views because this kind of blocks them off. But anyways, next we're going to be looking at the reindeer habitat. So off to the left you can see we have this telescope by Zekin. It's really awesome. So if people can't really get really good views of the reindeer because it's just so far away, they can take a look at its telescope and then get some really good views. So I think we're just gonna like plop our way into the habitat. So we have the pond we worked on, and came out pretty well. Like I said, the tarp really makes it have this nice artificial look, and then I added a kind of like a water filter kind of thing at this edge, so it looks pretty cool. So yeah, so let's explore the habitat. So we can see we have these posts to protect the trees all around from the reindeer, because I think reindeer really like will eat some of the leaves from the trees, and then they usually like scratch their horns, their antlers on the tree trunks. So that's just to protect the trees. So you can see we have this shady section over here with the feeders and the hanging feeder as well. So one thing I really love about this habitat is the place where the main like indoor section for the reindeer is pretty much hidden away from the guest point of view. So we have over here, as you can see, you can't really see where the reindeer comes from, so it's kind of like a hidden in a way. So if we head down here, we can see we have the stables for the reindeer, and so I thought it came out pretty well. Have like just came out pretty good. So this gate, the door is by Moblung, and it looks pretty cool. I'll leave a link to it in the description if you want to check it out. So yeah. Okay, so now we are in the petting zoo. So as you can see, I nabbed some of the Peafowl chicks over here. So they kind of look like chickens because we don't have any like petting zoo animals yet in the game. So let's just imagine their little like chickens. So in the Moscow Zoo, the children's center at the Moscow Zoo, it has this kind of thatched roof barn. So I didn't really want to go for that, so I went for a more modern design and thought it came out pretty well. So I put a bunch of solar panels because we're eco-friendly in the zoo, and we have a bunch of different stables. So hopefully when we get petting zoo animals or stuff, we'll be able to put maybe cows, horses, and different stuff, or ponies and stuff. But for now, I nabbed a bunch of the calves of some of the buffalo and stuff. Oh, this thing is stinky, someone needs to come clean that up. So over here we have the sheep, the doll sheep basically. So we have the doll sheep in here. I know they're not really like petting zoo animals, but since we don't have petting zoo animals, we have to stick with them. So we have their indoor stables and then just pretty cool stuff. So yeah, thought it came out pretty well. So I'm not done with the backstage area yet. It's just basically blank yet. So like I said in the earlier episodes of the zoo, I'm kind of planning to make like the backstage area more later in the episodes, just so I don't really get bored, because I get bored with kind of building all this way too like realistic stuff, and I kind of get burned out because it's not really like design and everything. So yeah. So over here we have ourselves this little playground section over here. This is, I basically just ripped out this wall from the one they have at the Moscow Zoo. Has this really nice rock wall which they can like remove the different rock pieces and put them in different other places, and then the kids just play over it. And then we have these posts for like the kids can jump between the posts, and it's pretty cool. Another neat feature of this little playground is these like basket kind of stuff over here. In the Moscow Zoo, they said they wanted the kids to have like the first-hand experience of like climbing into a bird's nest, or going into a kind of like a cave, or maybe into a bird's nest or some kind of nest. So kids can learn that way while playing at the same time. So yeah. So next up, we're right up front here because I want to take a look at the main path walking down through this area. So when you walk down here, you're greeted with this like nice overgrown foliage and stuff, and then what really draws your eye is this conservation point. And like I said in the Crocodile Creek episode, I want to have these like kind of scattered around the zoo, so people can like get conservation stickers, and then that will earn them like maybe discounts or different stuff. So yeah, so we have a kiosk over here with Mr. Gomez's flyers, and then we have pond shrimps water dispensers, and then we have these education boards, because of course this is a conservation center, so at the different conservation centers, like points, we're gonna have like education to educate guests. So yeah, if we head down here, you can see we have I didn't really cover this in the petting zoo. So in the Moscow Zoo, you can get to climb up here, but it's actually in the design they made it for the sheep. Oh, this is kind of off center, but I'll fix that later. They made these for the sheep, like they can really climb up all the way to the top and just have fun and everything. So we can't really do that in game because the sheep are just gonna go crazy with it, and so let's just imply it for now. So we have these lights over here which look really happy with how it came out. They look pretty cool. I used the Arctopec lights and then the modern poles, so yeah. Okay, so before I proceed any further, I'd like to show you guys how I came up with the design of this building. So as with everything I do, I start off with sketches. So I started off with a cylinder and a box. Then I went on to develop the basic shapes into more prominent designs. I wanted the facade of the circular part of the building to have a dynamic facade, so I experimented a bit and then settled on this wavy kind of design, and then I complemented it with the circles on the facade of the extension at the side. I then made the final sketch and then used that as the basis of the design of the building. Next up, we're gonna be getting into the interior of the main like education center slash play center slash restaurant building. So I'm gonna heading into the restaurant first. So when you enter in here, you can see the restaurant is Grubs in Steam. I just came up with that name because Grubs as in like they sell food, and then Steam because it's kind of like a cafe where they also sell coffee. So yeah, so when you enter here, we have Mr. Gomez's flyers, and then we have Wiser's food like cafe board over here. So how I made this work is that I hid one of the food stalls over here, and then I made it into like different sections, like an order and pickup. So since guests only like respond to the food section, so it gives it the illusion of like the guests picking up their food over there. So thought it came out pretty cool. So over here, as we can see, we have the restaurant. So to our right, we have this drink like soda dispenser, which is by Eben. Really happy with how it came out. And then we have the different chairs which I just put together, and then we have like the booth chairs, which really happy with how they came out, and then really also happy with how this ceiling came out. This whole restaurant is based on the Zoo Cafe. I think it's a restaurant chain in Asia, so thought it came out pretty well. So over here we have these like little kind of sweets, and then let's just imagine maybe these are donuts or something. So pretty happy with how that came out. So as you can see, we have this tree over here, which kind of gives us a whole like jungle vibes because of the whole theming of the whole restaurant, and so it kind of gives us really this nice accent. So thought it came out pretty well. So eventually, hopefully, I'm thinking maybe as guests are eating over here, they'll get to see like this would be a animal habitat, so they'll have like views of into the habitat while they're eating. So thought that would be pretty cool. But we're climbing over the chairs. So yeah, I wanted to make it look like the restaurant is used, so I use a bunch of the switches to make it look like some kitchen tiles, and then use that at the back there. They're not really connected, just so I can give it the illusion of it like being kitchen. So yeah. Okay, so next up we have this education center over here. So at first I didn't really know what to do with this hallway over here, and then I thought what would be the best way to kind of integrate education and kind of keep it fun for the kids. So I used a bunch of billboards and a bunch of art shapes to create this kind of nice, really education wall over here. So IRL, I'd imagine this would be a bunch of like touch screens in which, like, if kids just go up to it and touch it, it'll like give them a bunch of stuff to do, and it'll be really interactive, and thought it came out pretty well. So we have a bunch of like different animals over here. So I'd imagine you'll be able to change the animals. They're just placeholders. And so we have explore, conserve, protect wildlife. So thought like motivational stuff. So yeah, thought it came out pretty well. So let's head on into some of the main stuff of this build. So before we head on, to your left we have this vendor over here. I put him there because I'd imagine, because before entering like the play center, they would want you to remove your shoes, and so I'd imagine you give your shoes to this attendant over here, and he'll put them in a stall and give you like a card with the stall number so you can retrieve your shoes. Because normally the idea of just putting your shoes down in a cubby somewhere and then people could like take it without you knowing is kind of really scary. So just imagine just giving your shoes to the person over here, and the person will also act as like a person which tells you the rules and gives you info and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'd imagine on this board we'd have like info about the rules of the playground. So yeah, so as we enter in here, we will see the main playground area over here, and I am really happy with how this came out. So first we have the ball pit over here. So we have a really large ball pit. I used a bunch of art shapes and then sink them into the ground to make it look like a really large ball pit. And then we have a bunch of like different play stuff, and then a slide, and then just all sorts of different like playground stuff. We have like the seats at the edges for like maybe the parents who just supervising their kids. So yeah, so first we have the ground over here, in which we have a slide that comes from all the way from the top and slides way back down. So we have a quick route to the second floor over here for the kids, and then we also have like a spiraling stairs over here, like not stairs, like a ramp, spiraling ramp. So this is pretty tricky to do because of all the different intricacies of the spiral and then with the glass and everything, but pretty happy with how it came out at the end of the day. So on the second level over here, we can see we have some education stuff, and then we have some play stuff over here, and then we have some other different stuff, and then you can see the slide as well. So yeah, okay, so here's the third level over here. So we have more play stuff, and then we have like this tunnel, which inside would be those kind of like different level things that kids climb into. I don't really know what they're called, but that's just my idea for this. And then I'd imagine this would be like nets, which the kids will just be playing around to be looking through. And then we have more of the slide, and so yeah. So lastly, we have the top level over here, in which the kids get a kind of nice view of the kids on the bottom, and then we have like some education stuff just to make it look pretty, and then we have these skylights over here, which really happy how they came out. You can see we have, so the kids may be just sitting down and just be looking at the sky, and then we have the start of the slide, of course. So if kids like go down here, they'll just end up way on the bottom. So pretty happy with how that came out. Okay, so we're back on the ground level essentially. So if you look up, you'll see I have a bunch of like this circular ceiling design, which I used a bunch of the circular art shapes to make it look really colorful and playful. So at first I was having like a problem with the color scheme, and then I just basically settled for these bunch of like colorful colors over here. Colorful colors. Well, so we're at the toilets for the restaurant and the playground. So the restaurant and playground are linked together. So I'd imagine most families maybe would come to like get a little snack over here, and then once they're done, the kids would just be bothering them to want to play in this whole place. So yeah, so I'd imagine they'll be able to easily go back and forth between places. And so you can see we have some of these fire stuff from Moblung, this fire stuff, and then this fire extinguisher is actually from Mixenius, and I'll leave a link to it in the description below if you want to check it out too. So I just wanted to show this restaurant at this time of the day because it's really pretty at like 6 p.m. in this game, and so the light really hits all the chairs and just gives it this really cool effect. So pretty cool. So I just decided to take a quick look at the zoo area at night. So we have the lights over here and the path lights. They kind of really light the path as well. So I haven't really lit up the barn house really that well, which I'll do in the future episodes, but pretty happy with how it came out. So yeah. So basically that's it for this episode, guys. The cinematics will be coming up shortly. I'll leave links to all the workshop items used in this build in the description below, as well as links to my socials. So if you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not. When you subscribe, be sure to turn on that notification bell so you get notified whenever I post anything new. And so yeah, see you later, guys, and until then, bye for now.